morning, everyone. It is currently Saturday, February 22nd, and it is 6:45 a.m. because today we're going to go to Hollywood Studios and try to get on Rise of the Resistance by getting a boarding group. We all got up from our hotel room at 5:45 because the park opens at 8 a.m., but the doors open at 7 a.m., and the boarding group access starts at 8 a.m. And we found out that if we want to book a party of 6, all 6 people have to be in the park. So right now we have everyone who is going to go on the ride driving in the car right now to go to Hollywood Studios so that we can get there hopefully by 7 a.m. It is also 46 degrees out right now, and we all have our winter coats on because it's only going to get colder from here. Miranda is very excited that she woke up at 5:45 to go on a Star Wars ride that she doesn't really want to go on. Are you excited, Miranda? It is currently 7:15 and we just made it into the park, and now we have to wait for 45 minutes on Hollywood Boulevard until the boarding groups open at 8 o'clock. It is currently 7:30 and we are back here in Toy Story Land waiting to get into the land because at 8 o'clock we're going to get our boarding pass, and then Miranda wanted to go on Alien Swirl and Saucers, so we're going to hopefully get on that without an hour wait. Okay, right now it is about 8 a.m. and we just got boarding group 46. So we should be riding in a little bit. And right now I think we're going to go on Alien Swirl and Saucers. It's 8:05 and right now we are in line for Toy Story Mania since it only has a 15-minute wait.
And then we're doing Swirl and Saucers, but we decided to do this first because this usually have a very long wait.
It is now 8:30 and we just got off Toy Story Mania. And we are now walking out of the park because in the 5 minutes it took us to ride the ride, everything in Hollywood Studios is already over an hour wait time. So we're going to head out of the park and head back to our hotel room. We got boarding group 46 and they estimated that it's going to be about noon by the time we get to ride it. So yeah. And just like that, we're back in Hollywood Studios. It is now 10:30 and our boarding group is almost ready. So we are working our way back to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We just got notified our boarding group is ready, and it is 10:43. So at 8:01, I made the boarding group for 6 people, and then now at 10:43, we have our boarding group, and we were number 46, and we're almost to Galaxy's Edge now. We just finished up here at Rise of the Resistance, and it is my new favorite ride here.
You were right.
I'm sorry I cut that video short. I was just encountered by a Resistance leader who was interested in my camera, not knowing what it was. But anyways, Rise of the Resistance is a great ride, and I will tell you more about it later. We are now in line for Alien Swirl and Saucers. And it's a 15-minute wait, but we're going to wait through it to go on the ride and then maybe have some lunch. completely forgot to film it, but we just finished up lunch, and now we're heading over to Muppet Vision 3D. We decided not to go to Muppet Vision 3D, and right now we are leaving Hollywood Studios to go the Riviera. We decided to take the Skyliner over here to the Riviera and see what it's all about. It's now time to travel back in time in Spaceship Earth.
Welcome to the future, or should I say, your future. You'll leave your city home in an ultra-light, ultra-powerful, totally networked family car that can take you anywhere. And the moment you arrive at your ultimate vacation destination, you're out of this world and into the future.
We are now here in the DVC lounge here in Epcot, where we have free drinks and a lounge up here to relax. And in case you didn't know, it is in the second floor of the Imagination Pavilion. And this used to be where the color tunnel was and where the second floor of ImagineWorks was. And now it is this nice lounge. Okay, that finishes up our day here. After our last clip, we headed out of Epcot and went back on the Skyliner to come back to the studios. And it was very dark, so I couldn't really film anything. But now we're heading back to our car and probably going to dinner. And that was my experience riding Rise of the Resistance. And now it is time for the review. Now, in the video, I didn't really explain how you do get a boarding group, so I will do that before we do the review. So, as of late February, early March, Hollywood Studios opens at 8 a.m., and access into the park, meaning when you're allowed to scan your Magic Band to get into the park, is available at 7 a.m. But the boarding group access does not start until 8 a.m. But the problem is, the boarding groups go in about 5 minutes. All of the guarantees for that day can be gone by 8:05 or 8:07. So we decided to wake up at 5:45 and then decided to be on our way at 6:45, and we got to the park around 7 a.m. when they first started to let people into the park. And you can see here just how crowded the park was at 7 a.m., an hour before the park even was supposed to open. So then, once you get through the gate, you can go in anywhere in the park to line up for the first ride. So we decided to go to Toy Story Land so we can get on Midway Mania. So now let's talk about how to actually get a boarding group. So as you can see here, there's a page on the Walt Disney World My Disney Experience app where you can pick if you want to choose to join a boarding group. So at 8 a.m., the gray tab on the bottom will say join a boarding group, and it will turn red. But anytime before 8 a.m., it will stay gray. But the key is to go on at 7:58 and start refreshing and refreshing and refreshing the page until you see that turn red, just like here. Then you can go in and see all of the different people, and you can pick which people you want to go on the ride. But in order for you to be able to pick the people you want to go on the ride, they have to be in the park. So as you can see here, we picked 6 people, and then you hit confirm, and then just like that, your boarding group is there. So in the video, you can see that I got boarding group 46, and I submitted that at 8:01. So in less than a minute, more than 50 boarding groups have already been distributed. And by 10 a.m., all boarding groups for the whole entire day have been gone. As of right now, boarding group 63 and up are not guaranteed, meaning that if the ride breaks down, if your boarding group is over 63, then you cannot ride the ride that day, and we'll have to try again another day. So that is how to get a boarding group. So then what happens when it's your time to ride? So Disney will send you a notification that says It is now your time to ride, and that your boarding group is now available. Now, after your boarding group has been called, you have 2 hours to get to the ride before you are not allowed to ride. Luckily, we were in the park and just headed straight back to the ride. Once we were at the ride, they had the tablets, as you can see here, and they scanned our magic band, and then we're in the line. And now it is time for the review of the ride itself. Now, I will not show any footage of the ride because I find that if you do not watch any footage and fully experience it for the first time when you are there, you have a much better experience of the ride like I did. So I'm not going to show any footage, but I can tell you about it and the different ride systems that you will experience. The ride itself, where you are in the ride vehicle, is 5 minutes, but the whole experience is a full 15-minute experience. The queue is very immersive with lots of different details. Then you have a pre-show, then another pre-show, then another pre-show, and then it is your time to ride. Now, talking about those pre-shows, a lot of those are based on Star Wars movie sets. When you're experiencing those pre-shows and walking around the area, you really feel like that you are in the movie itself. Anyways, after the whole really cool movie type sets and pre-shows, it is then your time to ride the ride. Now, the 3 main ride systems that are in the ride itself during that 5-minute portion is 1, a trackless ride system. You're sitting in a ride car. The ride car in Rise of the Resistance is an 8-person car, 4 people in the front row and 4 people in the back row. And this is a trackless ride, meaning that there is no track and that you don't really know where you're going. The second one is a drop shaft, similar to Tower of Terrors. And then the third ride system is a motion simulator, similar to Star Tours or Millennium Falcon's Smuggler's Run, or any of those other motion type rides that you can find all throughout the parks. And all 3 of those ride systems combine together to make a 5-minute full-on ride experience on top of the 10-minute pre-shows. And it is truly an amazing ride to experience. And was it worth getting up at 5:45 to go? Yes. I would do it again, and I would do it multiple times again to experience the ride. When they do go off with the boarding group and resort to regular standby and fast pass, it will get very busy. I find that it's easier to go now before those longer lines start, but it is a truly amazing ride. It is now my favorite ride at Walt Disney World just because of how technology advanced it is and all the different types of systems used and the animatronics, live actors, physical sets, motion screens, all the different things that implant and are in the ride create an amazing experience. Thanks for watching this video. It was a blast to make, and I had so much fun going to Hollywood Studios to experience Rise of the Resistance, and I hope you do too. Bye.